So in the previous demo class, we discussed about the number sequences, how we will write the MATLAB code. In fact, we discussed a long span of time in writing the nested for loops. What is nested for loops? Writing for loop inside the for loop. Is it not? What we have used here is concept of nested fors. That means writing a for loop within a for loop. Because we have used two for loops for this program. Why two for loops we have used? One for loop is for the number of rows and another for loop is for numbers inside every row. For example, if I go to fourth row, the number of elements in the fourth row are 4. So I mean to run 4 times again in that complete fourth row. So I have to use another for loop. So we have used a concept of called nested for loops, that is using for inside the for. This is what we have analyzed last programs. So a different number of sequences can be generated with the logic of for loops only. Only thing is we should understand what are the numbers varying inside. Every time when you enter into the loop, we should analyze in which sequence the numbers are getting printed. Whether they are printed with just default 1 increment or 2 increment or even numbers or odd numbers, or last problem which I given is prime numbers. The pattern is same only. What is the pattern? The pattern is 5 rows. 5 rows, and in each row, if we are enter into a fourth row, there will be 4 numbers. That is the same pattern I have followed. So if the pattern is same means no need to change the two for loops, because the first for loop is written for the number of row times and second for loop is written for the number of numbers in each row. Okay, so only difference is the sequence of numbers printed. So here only the variable varying in the printf statement. In that case, it is only j. In this case, it may be some a, default a incremented with defined with 1, slowly incremented with 1. Whichever may be the logic you can develop. Only thing is you should understand in what pattern the numbers are arranged and we need to generate. So I ask you to generate for these numbers. Also very simple. Only thing is you should just practice. Okay. So let's come to the next one. Note it down. I want to print Pascal's triangle. What is Pascal triangle? Which is matrix of binomial coefficients. Matrix of binomial coefficients. Binomial coefficients you know, NC0, NC1. For example, what is 6C2? 6C2. 6 factorial by 6 minus 2 factorial into 2 factorial. NCR is equal to n factorial by n minus r factorial into r factorial. So you know. So that is called binomial coefficients. That means if I take any number, that number is addition of the previous 2 rows numbers. See, for example, 10 is addition of 4 plus 6. For example, 20 is addition of 10 plus 10. You check out any sequence. For example, 35 is addition of 20 plus 15. Check out any number, 56 is addition of these two. So you check any number. For example, 3 is addition of 2 plus 1. This 3 is addition of 2 plus 1. So this is called binomial coefficients, which we can generate using formula called NCR. A defined formula NCR n factorial by n minus r factorial into r factorial. And you know what is factorial? For example, n factorial is equal to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into so on till 1. So till you go to 1, you multiply all the things, that will be factorial of that number. So if I take, for example, fifth row, this is called 5C0. What is 5C0? 5 factorial by 5 minus 0 factorial into 0 factorial. NC0 is 1. NCN is 1. You know in mathematics. So this is called 5C1. 5C1 is 5. You can calculate. 5 factorial by 5 minus 1 factorial into 1 factorial. You will get 5 only. This is called 5C2. 5C2 means 5 factorial by 5 minus 2 factorial into 2 factorial. You will get value of 10 if you could calculate. So in any row if you go, that row will be that particular NCR formula with n equal to that row. If I go to 7th row, this will be 7C0, this is 7C1, this is 7C2, so on 7C7, which is always equal to 1. NC0, NCN equal to 1. We know that. Now how to generate this coefficients of binomial in this triangle format? That angle triangle. Understood what is binomial coefficients? This is called Pascal's triangle, matrix of binomial coefficients. That means NC0, NC1, NC2, so on, whichever n is, that pattern will be printed. And if you understood very clearly, I have given one more clue that any number is addition of the previous two numbers. That is one more clue in generating the logics. See, any program can be written number of ways. I am saying any program can be written number of ways. Don't follow the same method which I am giving here. See, I have written with my own logic, and you can write on your own logic. Ultimately, we need to print the sequence on the monitor. Whichever the logic you can follow. Now, what is the logic I followed? You just check on the right side. So I just use simple while loop to print that number sequences. And what is the logic I followed? Very simple logic. You see the logic. 0a plus a0. I defined a as 1. I defined a as 1. Why I defined a as 1? Because my first number is 1. Now what is the logic I followed? Very simple logic. You understand? See. 0a plus a0. What is initially a? 1. So 0, 1 in the form of matrix plus 1, 0 in the form of matrix. If you add it, what you will get? Add 0, 1 plus 0, 1 plus 1, 0. 1, 1. That is my next TA. My next TA is addition of 0a plus a0. So I started with 1. 0, 1 plus 1, 0. If I add these two, I'll get 1, 1. So that is my next TA. Now what could be the next TA? 0, because I got now a as 1, 1. 0, 1, 1 plus 1, 1, 0. Add it. 0, 1, 1 plus 1, 1, 0. Add it. 1, 2, 1 you get. Add it, you can try it. 1, 2, 1 you will get. Now similarly, next TA, that 1, 2, 1 will be next TA. Now what could be the next TA? 0, 1, 2, 1 plus 1, 2, 1, 0. Add it. 0, 1, 2, 1 plus 1, 2, 1, 0. Add it. Matrix addition. Are you not getting 1, 3, 3, 1? Are you not getting 1, 3, 3, 1? Now that will be next TA. Now what could be the next TA? 0, 1, 3, 3, 1 plus 1, 3, 3, 1, 0. Add it. 0, 1, 3, 3, 1. 1, 3, 3, 1, 0. Add it. Matrix addition. You will get 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Is it not the logic? Again, I am explaining you. You understand? See, I started with a as 1. Simple logic. I made 0a plus a0 as my next a. 0a plus a0 in the form of matrix addition. That will be my next a. Initially started with a as 1. So 0, 1 plus 1, 0. If I add it, I will get 1, 1. That will be my next a. Now what could be the next a? 0, because the previous a I got as 1, 1. So 0, 1, 1 plus 1, 1, 0. I will get 1, 2, 1. That could be my next a. Now what could be the next a? 0, 1, 2, 1 plus 1, 2, 1, 0. So how many times I have to go? How many numbers I want? So I kept a while loop. So many number of times. I am printing the every time the number. After printing, I am using slash n because I have to come back to the next line. Understood? It's a very simple logic. Only thing is you should understand the number sequences. Now just check with the same program I have written in another way. But this time, same number sequences, instead of right angle triangle, I want to print it in a equilateral triangle. I'm going to use another logic. Same number sequences. You see numbers I have not changed at all. The same number of binomial coefficients. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Same number sequences. Instead of right angle triangle, I want to print it in a equilateral triangle. Just check. So you know how to write a program for these numbers. Just now we have seen. Just now we have seen how to write a program for these number sequences. So what is changed? Pattern is changed. Instead of right angle, I want to get an equilateral triangle. Instead of right angle, I want to get an equilateral triangle. I know the logic for numbers. Only I think I have to generate different pattern means space I should allocate. Space I have to adjust. Is it not? See, usually the cursor will be at the left end. Every time the cursor will be at the left end. Now if I adjust the cursor such a way that the cursor will move to the extreme right and then the cursor has to come down, come down, come down finally till the number I want to be at the extreme left, the numbers already I know how to generate. So the program is over. So here what is lagging is space creation, space adjustment. How to write a code for this space allocation from the left alignment to the right extreme alignment. How we will move my cursor or how I should decrease the cursor ends so that a pattern of numbers will be generated. So what I did is for this I written another logic. The previous logic is over. How to print the numbers I have explained. Logic is a is equal to 0 a plus a 0. Simple logic. Now another set of logic I have written here. You just check. For this number sequence, numbers are same. Only thing is space is I want to adjust. So before space, let me explain the second logic. I understood the first logic. Now the same number, second logic you understood. How I am writing. See, you understood clearly that pattern of numbers. If I look at the pattern of numbers, the left ends are all ones, the extreme right ends are all ones, and inside numbers are addition of the previous two numbers. For example, 4 is addition of these two, 10 is addition of these two, 15 is addition of these two. But extreme left hand is 1, extreme right hand is 1. So if I assume this entire table of numbers in the form of matrices of rows and columns. Now if my I is 1, j is 1 or I equal to j, my mij is equal to 1. Let's assume I as my row vector, j as my column vector. If my row is 1, it should be 1. If my column is 1, that is first column, it should be 1. Or row equal to column. What is row equal to column? For example, fourth row, fourth column. Let's say this is fourth row, fourth column. This should be also 1. Fifth row, fifth column. This also 1. So if I equal to j or j equal to 1 or I equal to 1, your value should be 1. You got understood? How I printed the extreme numbers? I printed the extreme numbers. Extreme means extreme left hand I printed, extreme right hand I printed. With simple logic of this. What is this logic says? Either your row is 1 or your column is 1 or your row and column are equal. For example, what is first row? This is the first row, this is second row, third row. First row is should be 1. So 1. If the first row is 1, it should be 1. If the first column is also 1, because what is the first column? For this is the first column. For this is the first column. For this is the first column. For sixth row, this could be the first column. So that should be 1. So if your column is 1, keep it as 1. Or if your row equal to column, for example, I am entering into a fifth row. Fifth row, fifth column. What is fifth row, fifth column? Let us assume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the fifth row. This is fifth row. What is the fifth column? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my fifth row, fifth column is also 1. Sixth row, sixth column is also 1. Seventh row, seventh column is also 1. That means when row equal to column, also 1. Got no? So I printed this end, this end. Now I am left with only the inside numbers. So let's look at the inside number sequence. How I written? My Mij is equal to. So I written in the form of vectors. You know, in C program, A of ij, I is row, j is column. So m of ij is equal to m of I minus 1j plus m of I minus 1 j minus 1. M minus 1j, m minus 1 j minus 1. So you can check any I and j, any number will be addition of the 2. That is what the logic. So if that is the not case, it will go to else, it will do it. And ultimately it will print the n value. And this for loop will run a equal to 1 to I. What is a? I defined as 1. So 1 to I. What is I? I is here I written a big loop. So before going to big loop, I just want to explain this loop. So what is this loop? Just check. I defined a as 1, b as 10. I written a big for loop I equal to a colon 1 colon b. What is a? 1 colon 1 colon b. What is b? 10. So 1 to 10. That means this loop will run for 10 times. This big loop will run for 10 times. Clear? Now inside that loop, I just written a one more for loop. What is this for loop? Just check. For k is equal to b colon minus 1 colon I. What is b? B is 10. So 10 colon minus 1 colon what is I? I started with a first time when it enters. So a is 1. So this will be 1. So 10 colon minus 1 1. What do you mean by that? 10 colon minus 1 colon 1. What do you mean by that? Start with 10, decrement by minus 1 till you get 1. That's what the meaning. So that means what? 10 one time. Next after minus 1 means 9 second time. Next minus 1 8 third time. So 7 6 4 till 1. So 10 times this loop is running. Understood? So why this loop is running for 10 times? Every time when it enters, what is I written? F print of just a single quoted. That means just a space. Just a space. Now just check. See for I equal to A1, it enters here and this is the loop I have written for 10 times. So for example, this 10 times it will be given the space. For example, extreme left. So 10 times it will. Space will be printed. For example, this is the extreme right hand. So 10 times, first space, 9, another space, 8, another space, 7, 6, complete space I am printed. Then after that, this loop has come. What is this loop? This loop is for sequence printing of these numbers. So whatever the number it has printed, that will be printed. Over. Now this will be closed. No slash n is there. So after printing this number, slash n is come. That means cursor has come to next line. That means here, next line. Then I will become, because A started with 1, incremented by 1. So A will become 2. No, A is 2. So what will be A 2 to B? I becomes, what is I becomes? I becomes 2 because it started with 1. Now it is incremented by 1. That means I will become 2. So this B is 10. 10 to minus 1 to 2. So 10 minus 1 2. What do you mean by that? Start with 10, decrement by minus 1 till you get 2 only, not 1. Earlier you started with 10 till you get 1, this much of space is created. Now 1 space is now decreased because I had to go 10 to 2 only. So cursor will end up here only. Next time 10 to it will be 3. So cursor will end up here only because 10, 9, 8, all are spaces only. 10, 9, 8, all are spaces only. So every time when your eye is changing, your space is changing. Understood now? Very simple to digest, but difficult to put it on the paper and run the code. With lot of efforts, this sequencing of space, this sequence of numbers, this for loop has been written. If you practice, you can write it also. Nothing very special about the program. This is a program for printing of these numbers. Fine. See, if you are not understanding this sequence, leave it. The previous while loop sequence I have told, keep A0 plus 0 1. You can write that also. Instead of this big for loop, I have written another logic. No need of following the same thing. This number sequence you have to print. You remove all these things and keep that while. It will work out. Only thing is you have to create the space. So the space creation is this loop. Every time it has to start with here, end up here, and then the next line it should end up with the minus 1, end up with the another, end up with another, so that it will follow a triangle shape. So ultimately at the end your cursor should be here only, so that the number will be printed adjacent to the cursor, then only triangle shape will come. So that's why I am decrementing. So 10 minus 1. Understood? So note down the program because it is difficult to first time digest thing. Note it down. Try it. See, this is what I have written for the logic. When I equal to 1 to 10, so when I equal to 1, what is k? It creates a space of 10 from the cursor. For every time I have run it. This is what, see, just look at on the extreme cursor from here, how many spaces are created. For the next time, the space should be less than 1. Next will be less than 1. Next will be less than 1. So in that way only I have reduced the space such a way that it follows a triangle shape. That is what the sequence. So because I equal to A to 1 to B, A is 1, B is 10, I equal to 1 to 10 times. When I equal to 1, so this is what happening. When I equal to 2, this is what happening. Every time you have to write simple steps. When I equal to 1, if it enters into the loop, what is happening? Those are happening. It creates a space of 10. Madam, good morning, madam. చెప్పండి మేడం. మేడం మీకు అంటే సెకండ్ ఇయర్ మేడం, థర్డ్ ఇయరా? సెకండ్ ఇయర్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్లో మేడం, క్లాస్ రూమ్ వాళ్ళు కింద లేవు మేడం, అంటే ఫస్ట్ ఫ్లోరే మేడం. అవును. ఏ మేడం ఏమైంది అంటే కాలే ఉన్నాయిదా? తీసేసుకోండి మేడం, మీరు తీసేసుకుని వాళ్ళని ఇక్కడ పంపించండి మేడం. యా యా, ఓకే ఓకే. సర్లేండి మేడం, సర్లే సర్లే, ఓకే. So when I equal to 3, when I equal to 4, when I equal to 4, just look at 10 to 4. So it creates only this much of space. Then what is the J loop? Then what is the numbers it has printed every time? Now ultimately you understood now what is that green for loop? This green for loop. This green for loop is for space. Understood? The rest of the things are same. See, you can write logic of this printing of numbers in whichever way you like. I have written with using while loop one logic, for loop another logic. If you feel whichever is good, you can, or you can develop another logic. Fine. So if you understood this space creation, enough. Clear? So now any numbers you can print it in equilateral triangle. Can you? Any numbers in the form of equilateral triangle can be printed. Can be printed or not? What is the problem in printing in equilateral triangle fashion? You know already this, how to create the space, you understood. So what is the problem? So any number sequences can be printed in the form of an equilateral triangle. That's what I want to say. Just not only the Pascal triangle, any number sequences it can be printed in the form of an equilateral triangle rather than on the right angle triangle. For right angle triangle, there is no need of space creation because extreme left hand only your cursor is there and your numbers are printed at the left extreme left only. Fine. Just check otherwise. What is the, yes, you just check it. Your cursor is always at the extreme end. So your number is printed at the extreme end only. Cursor comes from the next line to the next line only. So extreme left hand only your cursor is there. So always your numbers will be printed in the form of a right angle triangle. There is no need of space creation. The space creation concept comes only when you want to print it in an equilateral triangle fashion or another fashion. Fine. So here I have no need of space creation. That's why I have just limited to two for loops. One for loop for the row numbers, another for loop with the number of numbers in the each row. That's enough. I used a tab space, I used slash and I printed. But when it comes to the equilateral triangle, I have to create a space. So that's what I have used a space concept. అర్థమైందా? ఇందులో ఏం లేదు. మనం ఒక్కసారి ఓపిక్గా పేషెన్స్ పట్టుకొని గంట కానీ 2 గంటలు కానీ కూర్చోవాలి కంప్యూటర్ ముందు. తప్పులు వస్తూ ఉంటాయి, ఎర్రర్స్ వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. కానీ మనం డీబగ్ చేయాలి. If you have that patience of sitting on the computer and debug whichever error it has given, you are familiar with the coding. కోడింగ్కి కావాల్సింది పేషెన్స్. ఫటామని షార్ట్ టెంపర్గా చేస్తే కోడింగ్ ఎప్పటికీ రాదు. You should have long vision with the focus in mind and patience. Then only you can write any program in any way logic you can. This is all coding I have developed in the 1998 itself. I was good at C program. My career started with C programming only. But a different track has come with my PhD, so I have turned up. Otherwise, I was very good at C programming. Only thing is, you need to put lot of effort, put patience, sit there on the computer. First time it will never come, second time it will never come. How many times it will never come? It will come definitely. Only thing is, you should debug it. What is the error it is saying? In C is very user friendly. If you know C, it will give error and the cursor will stay there itself. Where is the error? The cursor will stay there itself. It shows some debug there and it gives a hint to sort it out there itself. That's why you have to familiar. Okay, now check. So I ask you to print that number sequence in the equal triangle. Triangle only, but inside numbers I have changed. Note down. Triangle only, numbers I have changed. So how we will write? So you need to use space. Okay, you have to create the space. Then after creation of space, you have to print the number sequences. And for the number sequences, you have to try for a logic. My numbers are 5, 0, 5, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5. Now what is the logic? You understood and develop. The right hand side, one more table of numbers. Okay, you try it. When you attempt only, you will get another set of magic square numbers. You might have seen these magic square numbers. What is these numbers? What is the peculiarity in these matrices? Written, I have written. Sum of row or column or diagonal elements of matrix are between 1 to 9 is same. For example, if I add 4 plus 9 plus 2, 4 plus 3 plus 8, 15. 4 plus 5 plus 6, 15. If I add a row, if I add column, if I add diagonal, the numbers will be same. This is called magic square numbers. So if you take any of the magic square numbers, the addition of row or column or diagonals will be the same. And the numbers are from 1 to 9. See, any number is not repeated. That's also be very important. Any number is not repeated. Just check any table, any matrix. See, 4 has come here, there is no 4 at all. 1 has come here, there is no 1 at all. So can you develop program for these magic square numbers? We all done all these things way back. In fact, your most of the what is called his name Anand, Vishwanathan Anand has played the chess on the computer. Do you know how to write a program for chess playing game in the computer, or most of you are playing with the cards games. These are all written codes only, written codes only. People like you or someone on X has written the codes only. Only thing is the person who's mastered the concepts will write the code. Who has mastered the concepts will write the code. I told you now the video games, all these things are written codes only. Coded as written and patented. So that he'll get the money. How he will earn the money? If you patent it, only you'll get the money. You're just taking the coke. So when you just flip it up, you'll get a drink. You know how much it has patented? When every flip you get, $1 coin will be get to that account. The person who has patented. You know that. కోకోకోలా మనము ఆ ట్రిప్ ఉంటుంది కదా, అది ఇలా లాగ్ చేస్తాం ఆ ఫ్లిప్, అది పేటెంటెడ్. అది ఒక ఫ్లిప్ చేస్తే చాలు, $1 కౌంట్ వాడికి వెళ్తుంది. ఎవడైతే అది డిజైన్ చేశాడో పేటెంట్ చేసుకున్నాడో. సో మన ఐడియాస్ మనం పేటెంట్ చేస్తే చాలు, మార్కెట్లో ఉన్నంత వరకు మనకి డబ్బులే డబ్బులు. సో కోకోకోలాని ఎవరైతే ఆ బాటిల్ డిజైన్ చేశారో, ఆ సిలిండ్రికల్ షేప్లో డిజైన్ చేసి ఆ ఫ్లిప్పింగ్ ఎవరు పెట్టారో, ఇట్ మీన్స్ a flip will give some thrill, nothing else. It's a carbonated beverage. It's a carbonated beverage because carbon dioxide is under pressure in that bottle. Now when you just flip it, it just chills out. So that thrill has come, and people are used to accustomed that these foreign countries are accustomed. Not only foreign, the Indians also very much interested in opening the flip or beer bottle. Just chill. That chill has counted a lot for the person who has patented it. So why I'm saying is ideas can be invented at any point of time. The ideas can be invented. If you write a one very good logic, that can be patented. Only thing is ignite your minds. Okay. So sum of series problems. Sum of series problems you might have seen in arithmetic, geometric series, in mathematics. Now how to write program for these things? For example, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Oh, what is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4? 4 plus 3, 7 plus 2, 9 plus 1, 10. Let's say 1 plus till 99. What is the answer? You will be stuck there. You will be stuck there. If you know the formula, n into n minus 1 by 2 is called. So in mathematics there is a formula. But let us suppose you does not have a formula. How to write the program? How to write the program? Note down first program, you write it and think of how to write a program. Write it. One plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus so on till n. Write MATLAB code for printing of numbers. That n may be whichever n I want. For example, if n I want 95. What is the answer for 1 plus 2 plus till 95? What is the answer? You have to write in the form of a code. you write surface test? Test will be at 11 o'clock, okay? So same scenario, the test will be at 11 o'clock. In the time, you just prepare yourself. Fine. So it will be given SOC. You have to write the program code. So this is what I explained today's class. The test will be at 11 o'clock. Okay. After my demo class, you stay here only, prepare yourself. Then at 11 o'clock, we will be having the exam. Yes. Check 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Very simple program. That's all. Only one for loop. Very simple for loop. 1 to n times I have written. N is how much n I want, that n times I will run the loop. And every time when I run the loop, I'm always adding the numbers. So initially I just kept somewhere something 0. And every time for the 0, this the number which is coming will be added. Initially it is 0. Now I is 1. So 0 plus 1. 1. So that will be stored in what sum. So when the next sum is 1 plus what is I, it will become, because I loop written for I equal 1 to n, so 2. So the 2 is added. So 1 plus 2. So that is my answer. That is kept in sum. Now what is the next sum? 1 plus 2 plus what is n value, it will enter 3. So 1 plus 2 plus 3. So that is my sum. Now what is next sum? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus what is I, it will come 4. So how many times I want to write the run the loop, that n I have written and I have kept in the sum, and after executing all the things I just print what is the sum value. At the end what is the sum? Finally what is the sum is left, that will be printed in percentage T format. Over. Very simple. See, I want to add all the things. So keep it some variable called sum. Keep some value initial as 0. Why I'm keeping initial as 0? Because every time it has to be added. So initially if it is 0, first number will be added. Next number will be added. So 0, if I add 1, what is the answer? 1 only. So initially I need to keep some variable called sum as 0. I run the loop. So why I run the loop for only n times? Because I want for n times. For example, if n is 95, so I equal to 1 to 95. This loop will be run 95 times. Sum is added. Finally, sum is printed. See, just to use the for loop, how many times I have to run the loop? For loop, I will use inside the for loop. What is the f printf statement? I'll use the for printf statement. Okay. Now, what is the program for second one? 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. For example, only two terms. What is the answer? Only two terms. Let us say n is 2. Two terms. 1 square plus 2 square. 5. Three terms. N is 3. 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square. 9 plus 4 plus 1. So, if it is very less, you can say. But if n is a 95, you will be stuck. So, you have to write a for loop. How many times I have to run the loop? And what is the summing I have to do? Do it. So what is changing here? 1 square, 2 square. When I becomes 3, 3 square. When I becomes 4, 4 square. Is it not? Is it not? I into I power 2. When I is 1, 1 square. When I is 2, 2 square. I'm adding with some initial is 0. Over. Why you think that much of time? అంతే కదా ఐ పవర్ టూ అయినా రాయండి లేదా ఐ ఇంటూ అయినా రాయండి ఐ ఫోర్ అయితే ఫోర్ ఇంటూ ఫోర్ ఆర్ ఫోర్ స్క్వేర్ ఐ సెవెన్ అయితే సెవెన్ ఇంటూ సెవెన్ ఆర్ సెవెన్ స్క్వేర్ పవర్ టూ అయినా పెట్టండి ఇంటూ అయినా పెట్టండి సమ్మింగ్ చేయండి సమ్ జీరో పెట్టుకోండి ఫర్ లూప్లో పెట్టండి అయిపోయి అర్థమైందా రే విచిత్రం ఏం లేదు కదమ్మా అక్కడ సింపుల్ నెంబర్స్ కాబట్టి సమ్ ఈక్వల్ టు సమ్ ప్లస్ ఐ అన్నాము ఇక్కడ స్క్వేర్లు ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి ఐ స్క్వేర్ అన్నాను ఐ వన్తో అయితే వన్ స్క్వేర్ అవుతుంది టూ అయితే టూ స్క్వేర్ అవుతుంది ఎన్ అయితే ఎన్ స్క్వేర్ అవుతుంది సో ఇక్కడ నేను పవర్ టూ అయినా పెట్టొచ్చు లేదా ఐ ఇంటూ అయినా పెట్టొచ్చు నా ఇష్టం థర్డ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ థర్డ్ 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 ఎస్ థర్డ్ చూడండి నేను థర్డ్కి రాయలే సిక్స్త్కి రాసా కదా చాలా తెలివైన వాళ్ళు కదా మీరు నేను థర్డ్కి రాయలే అందుకోసమే సిక్స్త్కి రాసి చూపించా అక్కడ థర్డ్ ఏముంది సింపులే కదా చేయండి సిక్స్త్ ఏం రాసాను చూడండి వన్ ఇంటూ టూ బై త్రీ ప్లస్ టూ ఇంటూ త్రీ బై ఫోర్ త్రీ ఇంటూ ఫోర్ బై ఫైవ్ సరిపోయిందా ఐ ఇంటూ ఐ ప్లస్ వన్ బై ఐ ప్లస్ టూ ఏం లేదండి ఒక్క రెండు నిమిషాలు మనం ఆలోచిస్తే ఆటోమేటిక్గా లాజిక్ వస్తుంది పెద్ద విచిత్రం ఏం లేదు లాస్ట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ వన్ ఇంటూ టూ బై త్రీ టూ ఇంటూ త్రీ బై ఫోర్ సో ఎవ్రీ టైమ్ రన్ హ్యాస్ టు రన్ ద లూప్ okay fine so I have to start the graphs but before starting the graphs I want to start the algebraic equations because that is very important at this point of time so that I'll understand what is the basic mathematics you have. What is algebraic equation? So I want to know algebraic equations, I want to know differential equations, I want to know partial differential equations. Because this you need to solve it in MATLAB. Then only we will enter into the first program, that is called gravity flow tank simulation. What is the modeling equations for gravity flow tank? Anyone? Gravity flow tank modeling equations. Because you already modeled it. We already modeled it. Gravity flow tank. ఎప్పుడో పాత జన్మలో చదివాం సార్, ఇప్పుడు అడిగితే ఏం గుర్తుంటాయి కదా. జన్మ మారిపోయింది కదా. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పేది నెక్స్ట్ గంటకే గుర్తుంటుంది సార్, మీరు ఎప్పుడు అడిగితే ఏం గుర్తుంటుంది కదా. లీబన్ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ ఎక్కడో అయిపోయి ఉంటుంది అది కదా. See, very important. These are all I am telling you. See, it may be laughing for you, but unless and otherwise you are not good at your fundamental mathematics or physics or chemistry, you will nowhere fit into the jobs, because people are looking at the skills, coding skills in particular. Nowadays, they are not seeing the branch of engineering; they are seeing at the skills you have. They don't want chemical engineering with the gold medal. 9 CGPA, 9.5, they don't want. They want even if you are at a 6 CGPA, but if you are good at coding skills, if you are good at other extracurricular activities, they'll simply take you with a good package. This is true. Wherever you go to foreign countries also, people are looking at multi personality skills. They don't want only the domain knowledge. You may be good at your chemical engineering, but unless otherwise, if you don't have knowledge of maths and computer coding skills, no one will take you. Keep in that mind. Improve your skills, coding skills, fundamental skills. Then only you will be fit into any organization. ఓకే. సో ఇవి లేకపోతే ఖచ్చితంగా ఎవరు తీసుకోరండి, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. నేను క్లాస్లో టాపర్ని సార్ అని అనుకుంటే నువ్వు అలా టాపర్ లాగే ఉంటావు, ఎవరు నేను తీసుకెళ్ళరు, ఎవరు నేను తీసుకెళ్ళరు. నీకు టాలెంట్స్ నువ్వు ఎగ్జిబిట్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఎంతమంది ఇప్పటికీ బయటికి వెళ్ళి పేపర్ ప్రజెంటేషన్స్ చేశారు చెప్పండి, ఫైనల్ ఇయర్లో ఉన్నారు కదా. హౌ మెనీ పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ గాన్ టు అవుట్ సైడ్ ఫర్ ప్రజెంటేషన్స్? దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ యువర్ ఎగ్జిబిషన్ ఆఫ్ టాలెంట్స్. When you are in final year, at least you should have presented two papers in which or maybe the symposiums organized by across the India. అట్లీస్ట్ టూ పేపర్స్ ప్రింట్ చేసి ఉండాలి, పబ్లిష్ చేసి ఉండాలి, ప్రజెంట్ చేసి ఉండాలి అట్లీస్ట్, ఆర్ పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసి ఉండాలి. ఎవ్రీ ఇయర్ ఐఐటి వరంగల్ పెడుతుంటుంది, ఉస్మాన్ యూనివర్సిటీ పెడుతుంటుంది, ఇంకో యూనివర్సిటీ పెడుతుంటుంది. మనం వెళ్ళాలి, ప్రజెంట్ చేయాలి, ప్రజెంటేషన్ స్కిల్స్ ఇంప్రూవ్ చేయాలి, సర్టిఫికేట్స్ గెయిన్ చేయాలి, టాలెంట్ ఎగ్జిబిట్ చేయాలి. డిఫరెంట్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్స్కి వెళ్తేనే వాళ్ళతో నాలెడ్జ్, ఇంటరాక్షన్, నెట్వర్కింగ్ పెరుగుతుంది. సో మనము టోఫెల్ జిఆర్ఈ రాసే వాళ్ళకి చెప్తున్నాను, వాళ్ళకి రికో లెటర్స్ కావాలి, ఇలా బయట ప్రజెంటేషన్ స్కిల్స్ కావాలి, ప్రాజెక్ట్ చేసి ఉండాలి. ఇన్ని ఉంటే కానీ మంచి ఎయిడ్ రాదు, స్కాలర్షిప్ రాదు, మళ్ళీ పెట్రోల్ బంక్లో పెట్రోల్ కొట్టుకోవడం అక్కడ అంతే. అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి ఏం చేస్తాము, మళ్ళీ ఆ పాస్ పని చేయాల్సిందే. మనం మంచి ఫుల్ ఎయిడ్ వెళ్తే హ్యాపీగా ఎంజాయ్ చేయొచ్చు అక్కడ లైఫ్ని. ఎందుకంటే చాలా బాగా ఎంజాయ్ చేయొచ్చు ఫారిన్ కంట్రీ చెప్తున్నా కదా. యూ గెట్ ఇఫ్ అట్లీస్ట్ పార్షియల్ ఎయిడ్ వస్తే చాలు, ఫుల్ ఎయిడ్ రాకపోయినా పార్షియల్ ఎయిడ్ టాప్ 20 లేదా టాప్ 30 యూనివర్సిటీస్లో వస్తే యూ విల్ ఎంజాయ్ ద లైఫ్ ఎనీథింగ్. బికాస్ ద లిమిటెడ్ అవర్స్ ఆర్ దేర్. వీకెండ్స్ హ్యాపీగా ఎంజాయ్ చేయొచ్చు, వీకెండ్స్ మీరు ఎక్కడికైనా వెళ్ళొచ్చు, తిరగవచ్చు, ఎంజాయ్ చేయొచ్చు కార్ల మీద. వర్కింగ్ అవర్స్ కూడా చాలా లిమిటెడ్గా ఉంటుంది, బట్ ఎక్స్పెక్టేజ్ యూ లెర్న్ ఎ లాట్. వాళ్ళ థింకింగ్ చాలా డిఫరెంట్ మన థింకింగ్ కన్నా. ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఒక 20 years ఫాస్ట్ ఫార్వర్డ్లో ఉంటారు వాళ్ళు. మనం చదివే మెక్కాబెన్ స్మిత్ అసలు చదవరు వాళ్ళు. మనకేంటి అదే బేసిక్. యూనిట్ ఆపరేషన్స్ అంటే మెక్కాబెన్ స్మిత్తే, అదే మనకి దేవుడు. అసలు మెక్కాబెన్ స్మిత్తే చదవరు అసలు ఎవరు వాళ్ళు, బికాస్ దే బిన్ ఫాస్ట్ ఫార్వర్డెడ్. ఎంత ఫాస్ట్ ఫార్వర్డ్ అంటే దే అనలైజ్ ద హ్యూమన్ బాడీ యాజ్ అ రియాక్టర్. మన బాడీతోనే గేమ్స్ ఆడతారు వాళ్ళు. బాడీలో ఏమి సిఎస్టిఆర్స్ ఎన్ని ఉంటాయి మన హ్యూమన్ బాడీలో, బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది, ఎలా కంట్రోల్ చేయాలి ట్యాబ్లెట్ని, డ్రగ్ని ఎక్కడ వేసుకోవాలి, అట్లా అట్లా ఆలోచించుకొని వర్క్ చేస్తారు వాళ్ళు. మనము సిఆర్ఈ ల్యాబ్లోని సిఎస్టిఆర్నే మనం సరిగ్గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయలేము, ఇంకా హ్యూమన్ బాడీ పక్కన పెట్టండి. రియల్లీ ఐఎమ్ సేయింగ్ దే ప్లే విత్ ద హ్యూమన్ బాడీస్. అంటే అంతలాగా వాళ్ళు అనాలిసిస్ చేయగలుగుతారు వాళ్ళు. మనము చిన్న చిన్న ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ చేసి ల్యాబ్లో ఫెయిల్ అయిపోతాం. ఏంది అంటే యూనిట్స్ తప్పు మంది కదా. సో ఆ వేగా ఉంటుంది. మనం ఆ మాటలేదు అనుకోండి, ఇలాగే ఉండిపోతాం, మన నూతులో కప్పలాగే ఉండిపోతాం చెప్తున్నాను. ఓకే, ఎనీహౌ ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు స్టార్ట్ ది గ్రాఫ్స్. ఐ విల్ స్టార్ట్ ది algebraic equations in the next class. So be here in the seminar hall only. You will have a test at 11 o'clock. Okay, prepare here itself. రాస్తారు కదా. ఇంప్రూవ్మెంటా వద్దా? ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్ వద్దంటే మీ ఇష్టం, నాకేం ఇబ్బంది లేదు, మీకు వచ్చిన మార్కులు ఉండిపోతాయి.